Hi guys, this evening as part of the fundamentalist versus modernist controversy, we're going to be talking about the Scopes monkey trial. Now, the Scopes monkey trial is an historical event that did put religion versus science on center stage during 1925. The Scopes trial expressed the cultural divisions plaguing American churches since the beginning of the 1900s. And this would also play out during the trial. Now, John Scopes was a biology teacher in Tennessee in 1925. Now, the problem with that is that the Tennessee legislature also passed a law that banned the teaching of Darwin's theory of evolution. John Scopes did this anyway, and when he did, he was arrested. Now, he's going to go to trial, and Clarence Darrow, who is at the time a very famous criminal lawyer, will be his defense, and William Jennings Bryan, who was an ex-president and studied law many years, will be the prosecutor. Now, as we have studied before, William Jennings Bryan believes that America needs to get back to religion, and so he will be the prosecutor. And although Jennings is going to hold steadfast to the biblical teaching of creationism, which says the world was created in 6 days, Darrow, however, is going to expose fundamentalism to ridicule in his cross-examination. Darrow is going to be able to get Bryan to admit that the Bible is not literal always in its account of creating the earth. By that I mean that he's going to get Bryan to admit that he does not believe that the world was created in 6 24-hour days. In the transcript of the trial, on day 7, Bryan is asked, "You think those were not literal days?" And his response is, "I do not think they were 24-hour days." So while the fundamentalist versus modernist had plagued traditional Protestant churches since the early 1900s, it hit the political scene with the Scopes trial. Now, John Scopes did break the law, so he is found guilty, but later he's going to, it's going to be thrown out on a technicality, but not before fundamentalism is exposed to ridicule by Bryan. But this is also something that hits a lot of nerves with people, religion versus science. So you have modernists who believe that, who questioned the Bible's literacy. They also questioned many things about Jesus Christ in the Bible, and you have the fundamentalists who were more traditional in their beliefs, especially in the South, where all of this is taking place. More people do believe in the Bible and are churchgoers. But something interesting that we need to think about is that while this is all going on, it's affecting people all around them. And the Washington Post has a story that emphasizes this. So, the Washington Post says, "Deep interest in the evolution trial at Dayton, Tennessee is believed by Bellevue Hospital doctors to have overtaxed the mind of Peter Mangin, who is 29, who heatedly discussed Darwin last night and immediately afterward acted so queerly that he endangered tenants in the apartment where he lived, according to his wife. Mangin leaped into the chandelier in the middle of the room and, swinging monkey fashion, tore it loose. Then he sought to ignite the escaping gas, and while leaping about, overturning furniture, his wife called the policeman. The latter sent Mangin to Bellevue." Now, the whole point of that is not to make fun of the issue, but to show you how serious people were taking the Scopes monkey trial. And so not only that, but here also, Boyer says that journalists poured into Dayton. A Chicago radio station broadcast the proceedings, and the Scope trial became a media sensation. We also know that the radio was the main form of entertainment back in the 1920s. So it's interesting that it is broadcast all over the radio for everyone to listen to, because it was such a big issue during the time.